This is the brand new Bauer Pulse goal stick, and I mean, it's got some very unique features to it. So we're gonna bring in our goalie expert, Elliott, to tell me all about just the genesis of this, how it came to be. Let's start talking about it, okay? So as per usual, 30 seconds. Can you give us a breakdown of everything we need to know about this new stick?
Yeah, so this is kind of based off of our Supreme construction, but with some new technological advances here. So it's got now a tapered spine, and it actually has a tapered ergo spine paddle in the back and the shaft. So it really tapers all the way down throughout the stick, like to lower the kick point, provide a more responsive feel. We went ahead and brought P28G back from protocol for fun. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but the kind of shoulder grip area here
Yes,
looks a little bit different than traditional.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's a good 30 seconds. But before we get into the, actually, never mind. You know, I was gonna say something else before the grip, but I feel like this is the star of the show. It has to be, because it's bizarre. So what is this?
Well, you just hold it. You tell me your first impressions, initial impressions of it.
So in other videos, we've talked about the Pentagrip, which is the one that comes with vapor sticks.
Yep.
I don't know, it feels like it comes from that world, but it's not. Obviously, I guess it kind of extends into the paddle, which I don't think Pentagrip does as much.
Correct, yeah.
Is it? I don't even know if this is how goalies hold their stick.
No, yeah, you're nailing it.
Yeah?
I've been telling you, Corwin, you're a natural.
I'm a natural, okay. But it feels comfortable. That's all I'll say. That's all I can really understand about it. But yeah, I guess that's obviously the goal, is to feel comfortable.
Yeah. So it's really, like you said, it's kind of from our initial learnings of Pentagrip, of filling in that negative space in the hand with how a goalie tends to hold the stick. There's always been some gaps. And so Pentagrip goalies really liked to kind of fill in some of that space. And so we're like, all right, what if we can do more? Yeah. So now it's a little bit more rounded out. As you said, it kind of goes all the way down even into the top of the paddle. And some of our initial testers loved it, wanted to get pre-production samples of this because they didn't want to go back to their regular sticks. We thought it was good, but we were really surprised at how much people really grabbed on and really preferred that grip.
Is that like, where is this, I guess, like that's field testing, or is like you've tested this with pro athletes, or what?
Mostly with our field testers initially. Pro athletes can be a little bit slower to jump on a change. But yeah, with like a lot of our field testers, some of them had been using Pentagrip, some of them didn't even use anything at all. Like they were just using stock Supreme sticks, and they really, really enjoyed the feel of that.
Do you foresee this being a big part of goalie technology in the future? Is this something, obviously the Innovation Series is usually then kind of applied to the more typical lines that come out?
Yeah, we like to kind of test stuff. Obviously this is a big departure. The goalies that have tried it so far have all really liked it. So it's definitely something we're testing out. But that's kind of, what we like to use our innovation sticks for is, seeing, we put P28G on protocol. We didn't know what would happen, and goalies have loved it. Yeah. And so now we're giving it another shot with this stick. And, like we talked about, we had offered that in custom. So this is something that definitely might be an option down the road. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
Okay, I love that. And then obviously, so you did mention some other innovations here, which is you had the tapered shaft up here, and then also in the actual spine part it was tapering, right? Like
yep.
This is normally on Supreme, and like I know it was on the protocol last year.
Yep,
right?
yeah. So protocol was also a Supreme-based innovation stick. So to put it this way, so obviously our player sticks have been playing with taper for a while to lower the kick point. Protocol was the first time we really started to play around with flex and kick point on a goal stick, and we dropped that one all the way down to like a 77 flex, and goalies really liked that, so they felt they could play the puck a little bit better. Now we're also playing with some of the taper to, like I said, lower that kick point all the way throughout the stick, and it's not so much for, crazy hard shots or anything like you might find on a player stick, but it really provides more responsive feel by driving everything down. That's what this spine has always traditionally done in a Supreme stick, is really give more direct feel up into the hands of the goalie. And so now being able to taper that down, you get that even more. And you do get a little bit of a quick release, so combined with the P28G curve, you can really get the puck up off the ice quicker. So if there's forward forechecking on you, you're trying to rim it up around the boards or anything like that, or even if you're trying to get a quick shot off on an empty net, it helps you get that puck up off the ice quicker.
I love that. And you said, so the P28 curve, is that stock on this stick? So
yeah, it'll be the only curve available here, at least for senior and intermediate. Junior will still come with a P31.
Yeah, fair. Is the toe, Is this similar to the Flylight one?
Yeah, so it's that same hybrid toe geometry from Flylight. Yep, that's a good catch there. So yeah, it's got that square
I'm learning,
top,
you know?
round
I'm starting
bottom.
to get good at this goalie stuff. Yeah, okay, so well, obviously for Flylight, you kind of mentioned that that's obviously good for just stopping pucks rimming around the boards or whatever it may be. But yeah, so I mean, if you like playing the puck, I feel like this is your goalie stick. Like, everything about this is built to kind of just be a new age goalie and really get out there and move the puck. The one thing I've noticed, obviously, because there's a Pulse player stick as well, and this is one of the first times I've seen they look almost identical. Obviously, there's different shapes, but they're pretty close.
Yeah, that was something we really wanted to try this year. You know, we're both kind of pushing the boundaries of innovation with them on their side and ours here. It's obviously different technologies, but we really wanted to align together and, you know, get one really good graphic that we could kind of, you know, modify to fit each of our sticks, but put those out together. And I think it's really sharp and really cool that, you know, if you've got a brother or a teammate or something that's using the Pulse player stick, now as the goalie you can have something to match, you know, and shut them down in practice with it.
I love it. Is there any like hidden details that you find are your kind of favorite? I know there's almost like a little texture there.
Yeah, so we've got like some raised 3D ink in here, which actually gives it a really cool feel up here, and it's actually down at the top of the paddle as well, and I actually really enjoy that. And then I think too, just this color, when it catches the light right, it's just got this really cool shine to it. With the dark black base, I think that contrast looks really nice. And we did like kind of the black on black Bauer logo here, which we don't do very often.
Yeah, that is
which
rare.
I think looks pretty sharp.
I agree. I actually love that.
Good stealthy look.
The one other one I know from the player that I really like is there's that little kind of like pulse right there.
Yeah,
It's a nice representation of the name of the stick.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I'll ask you here is obviously some people, I feel like you mentioned before that pros are sometimes hesitant to change. I feel like that's goalies in general. Am I crazy that like goalies end up in their gear for maybe a little bit longer than a player might? Obviously, the sticks tend to like just, you're not using it in the same way. But if someone, let's say they haven't changed their stick in 10 years, what would be kind of the biggest differences that they're going to feel in something like this?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing they're going to notice is the weight for sure. You know, it's kind of incremental weight savings generation over generation, but when you give it 10 years, like this would be insanely light to anyone that's, I mean, 10 years ago, goalies were still using wood sticks, most of us. So it would definitely feel crazy light. I think that curve would throw some people for a loop, for sure. I don't think goalies had much toe curve like that. They would think Ovi switched to be a goalie. Yeah. And then obviously that grip we've got here would be a little bit different. It's funny because it's been something goalies have played around with for a while. Like there used to be one that was actually like angled here, a wooden stick like that. That one never really caught on, but goalies have been trying for a while. And you know, obviously you see the pros have crazy different shoulders that they'll use cutting out different shapes and things like that. So it's something that's been experimented with, but I don't know if there's ever been something quite like this. Get it while you can. I think protocol we were out of within a couple months, so I don't think this one will last much longer than that.
Okay. I mean, Elliott, I think you fully prepared me for what this goalie stick is. If anyone else has any other questions, I think it's pretty much at this time you just want to go try it out because you're not really going to understand how this feels until you have it in your hand because it's very comfortable.
Yeah, the camera does not do it justice.
But so go into your stores, check it out, and if you're wondering about any of our other products, we've done a ton of these breakdowns. Elliott's been helping us out with all the goalie stuff, but there's other player ones as well, so check those out on the Bauer YouTube channel and let us know what you think.